Michigan, Georgia, they can look in a mirror and almost in many respects see the same team. This could be hopefully we get at least one out of two good semifinal games because that doesn't happen all the time. Your thoughts about Michigan, Georgia?
That's a great point in terms of both teams mirroring each other, right? I mean, obviously, Michigan wants to pound the rock with Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins. This offense is averaging well over 220 rushing yards per game, but that goes right into the strength of Jordan Davis and that front seven. I think this is a bad matchup, in my opinion, for Michigan in this ballgame because it is SEC speed, because it is the physicality of Georgia and those linebackers that can run sideline to sideline. And let's not forget, Cade McNamara and Michigan really haven't played from behind. We said the same about Georgia, right? They struggle with Stetson Bennett in the SEC championship game. I think it's the same thing for Cade McNamara. When you just look at the performance, the only time Michigan really trailed all year is in the last 4 minutes in East Lansing, where they lost that ball game 37-33. The speed of Georgia, to me, is going to be the difference. You have George Pickens that came back. Zamir White is there. You have Cook. I think the playmakers, including Jermaine Burton, are going to be way too much. I think out of all the matchups that Michigan could have pulled, I think this is the worst one, in my opinion, because of the front seven of Georgia. I think they're going to make them put them into predictable long third down situations. And this is one of my best bets for the college football playoff. I do feel that Georgia wins this ball game convincingly, especially by spread standards, double digits. I think the Bulldogs move on to the national championship game.
Brock Bowers, the freshman tight end for Georgia, has turned out to be a matchup nightmare, and I don't know what Michigan's going to do with linebackers and safeties trying to keep up with him. He's one of the best in the nation. Another point on this one, Joe, that intrigues me is Ohio State basically banked on two NFL offensive tackles blocking one-on-one against David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson, and it didn't work. I want to know if Georgia's going to try the same thing and think our tackles are good enough on an island, or we're going to have to max pro protect to allow our playmakers and give Stetson Bennett enough time to see which way they go there as well.
Yeah, I think they max protect early, but I think they run right at him. I don't know if Michigan, and I know that they face Kenneth Walker, and Michigan State's offensive line is big, but I think Georgia's is much more physical. I think they're going to run right at Aiden Hutchinson, and that'll neutralize them early and then work off a play action that way. I think that's how they'll attack it. Now, I can be wrong. Obviously, Georgia has the type of speed on the perimeter, even though they're still raw, inexperience at this point. They can challenge that Michigan defense over the top. Like I said, your break tendency, if they do turn to JT Daniels in this ballgame, because I think it's all hands on deck in this matchup, right? Stetson Bennett, if he's given the nod, he's going to have a short leash. 1-2 quarters, if he's ineffective, I think they're going to turn to JT Daniels in this matchup. That could be the difference in this ballgame. But in the end, just looking at the spread perspective and looking at this ballgame overall, I just feel very strongly that Georgia dominates this ballgame from start to finish. I think Michigan matches up very well against Alabama. I don't think they match up against Georgia very well in this ballgame.
And to your point, Stetson Bennett has played well enough against the good teams for these 2 years, except for it's usually one or two key mistakes that he makes against the better opponents.